Hola, buenos dias. Mi nombre es Vint Cerf. And that's all the Spanish you're going to get for the moment. I'm sorry, it's the best I can do. In any case, it's a real pleasure to address the LAC IGF. I can't tell you how important all of these national and regional IGFs are. They are focused on what's going on locally, and that's very important because Internet's implementation and its utility varies from place to place, culture to culture, language to language, and it's important to have a focus of attention in region. It's especially important now, I think, because all of us are conscious of several things that are making the internet less resilient than we would like. Among other things, there is a call for what's called data sovereignty, and in my view, that often implies a kind of interference with the free flow of information from one part of the internet to another. I think it's often misunderstood that hiding information in a particular geopolitical locale somehow protects it. The better way to protect information, no matter where it is use cryptography. Of course, then you have a key management problem because you have to make sure that you retain the keys and that they don't get loose into the hands of people that shouldn't have access to them. But be that as it may, resilience is very important, and so that means the implementation of all of the infrastructure that makes the internet work is vitally important to its resilience. That means redundant components, it means having backup capabilities, it means having recovery mechanisms. And as many of you will have seen in the recent past, there have been some major failures that seem minor and often are just mistakes that people make, but they have propagating impacts in many places. A DNS failure at Amazon, for example, or an update failure of some of the CrowdStrike software had a really serious impact on a lot of functionality because machines weren't running and had to be rebooted manually. I'm sure you can make up lots of scenarios that you either recollect or could imagine. And so we have a big job ahead of us, which is to make a more resilient system than we have today, while at the same time expanding its functionality, as all of us are aware. Artificial intelligence and AI agents and all the things that implies are on our doorstep, and they're going to be extremely attractive. People are going to want to use these technologies because their interfaces are so convenient. They're natural language interactions. The systems seem to be able to reason their way through various steps, and yet just as human beings can misunderstand each other through the use of natural language, it's possible that these AI agents will have a similar problem. What if they don't understand each other? You know, imagine that old game that you used to play as a kid we called it telephone, where you whisper in somebody's ear and then they whisper in somebody else's ear. By the time you get to about 10 steps through, the message that the 10th person is hearing isn't anything like the message the first person whispered. I worry about that kind of thing happening with the bots that we're asking to do things for us. And this bot A asks bot B, asks bot C, asks bot D to go do something. And by the time we hear back what they've done, it might turn out to be not the thing that we expected or intended. So there's plenty of work to be done, and I'm sure you have a long list, just as I do, of things that we could be doing and steps we could take to make the internet, the evolving internet, more resilient for everyone. So I wish you well in the meetings. I look forward to hearing from any reports or summaries that you might make, and certainly hope that the IGF will be given another lease on life by the World Summit on the Information Society Plus 20, which will convene all of the member states of the UN in mid-December to decide whether or not WSIS and IGF and related activities are to continue into the future. Independent of that decision, however, the IGF in Latin and Central America can persist independent of the annual global IGF, since it was formed voluntarily and in some sense outside of the UN structure. You have a life of your own to maintain, and I hope that you will, independent of the decisions that come from the General Assembly later this year. Meanwhile, I hope all goes well, and I look forward to seeing you on the net.